What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy, CWS, aka Whit, coming at you guys for another commentary video. This time it is CBR 207, the Category 4 race, and it is about to go down. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everybody. Thank you for clicking this vid. I literally just got done with an hour easy recovery ride, and I am excited to share this particular video with you guys, and I'm happy to be able to present this commentary as well. Let's get right into it. So right now we have gone through turn number 2, and I'm currently sitting on Gamalora's wheel, which, as you see, he's in the gold jersey, and he is leading this category right now, and this is why he has on this gold yellow jersey. So right now you see to my left, you see Dustin, which is 696. Please forgive me. Out of my excitement, I literally just realized that I did not go through and get everybody's numbers, so I ask that you guys will put it to my head, not my heart. Right there in front of me, you see that is Isaac of VELO Pasadena. So right now we are going up this 3% roller, and this thing pulls out of me a lot of wattage. So this should make for a great video. I am super excited to share it with you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, we are almost to 700 subscribers. I ask that if you're viewing this right now and have yet to subscribe, I ask that you will go ahead and subscribe to the Whit Roadrunner family and come on and be a part of the team. If you don't have a YouTube account, I ask that you would pause the video right now as we get ready to go through this start finish and set up your YouTube account, come back and subscribe to the family. I am excited about this. So right now you see me sitting on Isaac's wheel. You just saw a serious cycling guy, which I think that's probably Furman from the last Ontario video that I did, wearing the white serious cycling kit. And so you see there is the gray and green serious cycling kit. So as I mentioned last time, serious cycling, and then there's another serious cycling kit. So you see right now 3 different serious cycling kits in this race. And just like I mentioned to you guys last commentary, is that you have to be very aware of the different teams as well as their kits that they are wearing in these particular races. Right now we're going about 25 miles an hour. My heart rate is at 165, which is really, really good. Currently we're just coasting. This is a downhill section right here. You see it's -0. So it's downhill going into turn number 3, and then it kicks into that 3% climb, which you'll see as the grade computer catches up to where I am, specifically showing you that we are at a 3% climb. So right now, again, sitting behind Isaac, and we're just making our way. I realized today as I was riding through the neighborhoods that I just really, again, enjoy riding my bike. And I asked that you would share with me how much you enjoy riding your bike down in the comment section below. And also, I'm not sure if you all saw how I got into cycling, but I asked that you would share that information with me. How did you all get into cycling? And if some of you that are viewing this actually race, share with me how you got into racing. I'm really looking forward to getting that information. But right now, we just went through the start finish. And again, we're going about 27 miles an hour. And if you look behind me, I'm pretty much at the back of the peloton right now. It wasn't on purpose. This particular race, this particular day, I honestly wasn't feeling it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wasn't feeling racing. Like, I had no issue riding my bike. I just did not really feel like racing, but everything was already paid for. I was already in Carson, California. And as you see, I'm pretty much sitting at the back of the peloton. There's just a few guys. There's 3 guys behind me right now because I had just passed them. And I'm currently sitting on one of the big orange riders' wheels. We got Dakota right there with the red jersey and the black bibs. And I kind of made fun of him before as we were warming up on the Dominguez Hill course, that he has number 666, and I didn't even realize it that I had number 665. So if he had the devil on his back, I had one of the devil's close friends on my back. So we're coming again through turn number 3, and we are again about to approach this 3% roller. And this, as you see here, I'm pushing out over 600 watts just to make it up this roller. This roller really does zap your legs. And if you don't go into it with a good amount of speed, you're going to have to lay down some wattage regardless, even if you're in an easy gear, you're going to have to put down some wattage. And the reason why I say that is because if you go into the wrong gearing, you're going to be spinning, and then you're going to be losing that momentum to keep up and stay with the group. So you're going to have to put down some wattage to stay with the group. And there are times when it lulled, meaning that it slowed down or whatnot. But at the same time, you know, you may get that once or twice, maybe even 5 times out of 40 minutes, you know, and so you got that 5 times out of 40 minutes, that's roughly 10 minutes. So 30 other minutes, you are consecutively putting down some wattage on that 3% roller. So right now we're in between turns number 2 and turns number 3, and you see Isaac going up front with the serious cycling guy on his wheel. I'm currently again sitting on Big Orange's wheel, and I'm just hanging out because again, I wasn't feeling it. And why wasn't I feeling it? Well, we went up Saturday morning to see family in Inglewood. We had some family come in from Jersey, and so was super excited to see my wife's mother and my wife's mother's husband, and was just really happy to see them and spend time with them and see my wife's grandfather and just see family that we hadn't seen in a long time. And so we were just ripping and running all day on Saturday. Got to the hotel about 8 o'clock, and if you saw the actual vlogger video, we were staying at a Motel 6. Got to the Motel 6 about 8 o'clock, 8:30. Had some other things I had to tend to. Had to get prepared to get my mind right for racing. Got to bed probably after maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock, and it was just a long day for your boy. So when I got up Sunday morning, this race day just wasn't fully in it. You know, I was just like, man, I got to race. I gotta get there. And there's a lot of stuff I gotta do. We gotta check out the hotel. It was just a whole lot. And so your boy just wasn't feeling it. But I held it all together and made it to the race, as you see. So right now we're coming through the start finish again. And again, I'm sitting in the back. You see there's not many people behind me. Not very many people behind me. I'm sitting in the back, just hanging on in the back here. My heart rate is at 175, going about 25 miles an hour. Again, just getting my legs going again with 80, you know, got 90 revolutions per minute, pushing out over 200 and something watts. And of course, we're just making our way. So now I dip on the inside and I start to kind of make my way up a little bit, like, okay, I've been hanging out in the back long enough. Now it's time to move up. So I went up about 6 to 7, maybe even 8 places. And now time to move up, time to pushing myself to get on up there. You see the heart rate's up to 173. Just went around Dakota. You see Dakota now in the rear camera, and I'm making my way up on the inside. And there you see Gamma again in the gold jersey. So just making my way up closer to, you know, closer to where the race leader is, and just trying to be a little bit more engaged on this race. You see there's 654. That is Irvin. You see 646. That is Wes. You see right there behind Wes in the big orange kit, the other guy with the pink bike, that's Brandon. And so some of these guys I remember from doing other commentaries to where I can call them by name, but I'm sorry, everybody else, I don't remember. I don't know your name yet, but I pray that I will get those soon. So please forgive me for this particular race, because I wanted to get this one up, because at the end is some goodness, and I'm excited to share this race with you. So I wanted to get this up as quickly as I could, and so here it is. So right now, again, we have just went through turn number 4, and we're on our way through the start finish again. And this race was about 40 minutes long. This video is 30 minutes long. I don't know why. I believe this race was 40 minutes, but I guess they cut the race short for some reason. I don't know, but it is what it is. But right now I'm sitting on Isaac's wheel again. We got Wes Morgan right there to my left, and he's currently sitting on Gamma's wheel. We got Brandon right there. And so we're, you know, I'm around some good people. We got Dakota going underneath, and Dakota, that's your signature move, brother. When you make your move up, you hunker down really, really good, and then you bolt up on the inside right before we get into that turn. And I see you, man. I see you. You got some speed, and you got some momentum, and you do that really, really well. And so right now we see we got Isaac out of the saddle, so I'm just jumping on that, staying in that draft, and he's pulling me up. He's toting me up to the front. I just passed Gamma with the gold jersey, and coming up on the inside, making up a lot of places. And we also had some U23 riders in this race. And what that means for some of you that may not know what U23 means, it just means under 23. These are racers that are still juniors, or they're under 23 years of age. So we're going up this hill now. Again, this is a 3%, and you see here, still sticking to Isaac, and we're just making my way up, staying engaged in this race. Now that I'm kind of feeling it, but I'm still not 100%. If I had to give you a percentage of how I felt when it came to racing, I was probably about 83%. Like 83% was like, okay, I was even warming up. And if you saw the other video, even while I was doing my warm up, I was just like, I'm not feeling it. I had my music on. I Will Be Confident by Stephen Furtick. If you haven't heard that before, I ask that you go check that out on Apple Music, or just type it into YouTube. I Will Be Confident by Stephen Furtick. And it is a really good motivational song / poetic type of feel to it, with a nice little beat. And that usually is what I listen to right before I race. And it just puts me where I need to be. But I was listening to that and I had to actually turn it off. I just wasn't feeling racing. And I just wanted to, like I said in the video, I just wanted to sit back, relax, and just chill. And so right now, we just went through turn number 2, and this between turn number 2 and turn number 3, there's a little bit of a bump, nothing serious, but it's a little bit of a bump right there. So if you keep some good momentum, you can come over that bump really well, which brings you down into turn number 3. And if you take the right line, it is a really good sweeping turn. You can go through that with some momentum, and it will carry you pretty much up halfway of this little 3% roller. But of course, you got to have the right line. You probably need to be up in the front or off the back, so you don't have to worry about braking. And so right now I have Dustin on my rear wheel, or you can see him in the rear camera. So again, I have to keep myself mindful that I have a rear camera here, and I like to draw you guys' attention to that as well, because sometimes we'll get caught up looking at what's on the big screen, what's going on ahead of us, but sometimes what goes on behind us is just as important. And I say that because sometimes that's where attacks happen. And you saw the guys up there in front of me as I talk about the rear camera, guys in front of me almost got into a crash. But a lot of times what goes on behind you can really hinder you up ahead of you. And what I mean by that is sometimes you'll have people sitting on your wheel, and then they'll come around you because they're drafting you and they're working 3% easier than what you are, and so they're sitting behind you, and then they're able to bolt past you, like Dakota did a couple of laps ago. He's sitting behind and he bolts ahead, and that's why I really like doing these commentaries with both the front and the rear camera, and because it really gives you the full, at least, I can't say 360 because we can't see the sides, so at least have 180, 250 degree of footage here from the 2 GoPros, the one I have on the front and the one that I have on back, so you can see what's going on behind me, and you can also see what's going on in front of me. And for me, racing, it gives me a 250 degree perspective versus what I'm just seeing when I'm racing. So right now we got Dustin right there to my left, and we're coming through turn number 3 again to this roll. And you see me now starting to get guys out of the saddle. And as I've mentioned to you guys in previous commentator videos, is that I've realized that once you do something repetitively, specifically in cycling, and I use Carson's course for example, if we was to rewind this and go back to the beginning, you would see that majority of the people are sitting in the saddle as we went up that little 3% roller. As this course goes on, we're currently at 13 minutes in, so we're almost halfway there. So now that we're almost halfway through this race, you're starting to see people now come out the saddle to make it up the same little 3% roller that they were previously just sitting down on. And I've noticed that when that happens, that means that their legs are starting to get tired. And so one thing that I really told myself is that I want to stay in the saddle. As a big guy, I'm over 225 pounds. As a bigger rider, I put out a lot of wattage. That comes with being big. But at the same time, if I come out the saddle, I tax my legs even that much more. So I've learned to try to stay in the saddle and spin when I need it the most. I came out the saddle in the climb when I needed to come out of the saddle. But if I did not have to come out of the saddle and could spin a little bit faster and maybe just a little bit harder, I did that. And you'll see as we are now coming to turn 3, as I sit on Dorian's wheel, and as we go down the hill and come into the 3% roller again, let's watch and see if anybody comes out of the saddle. Let's check it out. Making that right-hand turn right here. And we are now in the 3% roller. Let's see. On this one particularly, no one came out of the saddle. Everybody was able to spin really good. You saw the green jersey right there. That is Peter Verth of DNA CBS. We got Dustin right here on the inside of me with methods to winning. And you saw right there, and we got Gamma on my rear, on the rear camera. He's behind me. And there is, I believe that's, I'm not sure if that's Toyota or not in the big orange kit. But right there, we saw everybody kept spinning really fluidly, and the momentum continued, and we all made it up that hill in the saddle. Everybody stayed seated, and we didn't see anybody come out of the saddle. So that was a really good example of what I'm talking about, of staying seated, keeping it spinning. You see right here, I cut the corner. I needed to move up. I just come underneath Dakota, and if you look in the rear camera, we got a guy about to make a move. So I think this guy's a U23 guy. You saw him come up behind me, and then as you see, because he jumped in my draft, he was able to slingshot right past me as he moves up again through turn number 2, and he's closer to the front. So now that guy is probably sitting about 6th wheel. I stopped here, and the reason why I stopped here is because I don't want to be too far forward. You see right there the number 668. That's Peter Verth, who has the green jersey, which is the most active rider. Peter is a very strong rider. He is a endo kind of rider, meaning that he specializes in longer races. Like, he likes road races and things that are, races that are 40 miles at the end of the day, with maybe a couple of climbs in them or whatnot. He is really good at that. And so because he's an endo guy, see, now we got a guy out the saddle. We got people out of the saddle right now. So you see the difference between the last lap and this lap. We got Octavio right there. So we got guys across the board out of the saddle. And I believe I'm still sitting. I'm sitting on this wheel, holding it because he's bigger, because he's out of the saddle. And I'm able to sit on his wheel and enjoy the draft. So now I think I'm closer to the front. I'm about 4th wheel right now. I think we got a guy up the road right there. So I'm currently sitting like 4th wheel. But one more thing that I learned from racing Dominguez Hill Course is that when I'm up front, don't plan on staying up there long. So right now I'm just drafting these guys. I'm about 4th or 5th wheel. I'm drafting. I'm not looking to do any work. I'm sitting here, and we see from the rear view camera, we got guys coming over the top. They're coming on the outside and on the inside, as we see there. And so what I've learned to do is to be mindful of what's going on behind me, as I mentioned with the rear camera. And so of course, while racing, I don't have a rear camera to look at. So what I have to do is I have to look over my shoulders. Sometimes in situations, it allows us moments of time to quickly glance over our shoulders, or if you're sprinting, to glance underneath your arms to see if there's anyone behind you. So you see here, I'm about 5th wheel now, and I'm actually I left this gap here specifically to let this guy, and I remember this guy from the last time we raced at Carson, and I went for that preem. And so I remember this is funny, I remembered his legs, his calf muscles. So I left that gap in front of me specifically to let him slide in. And now we see right here Dorian to my front right, and then that's Ono right there, 678. So we got Ono, and I crashed with him. I always mention him. I crashed with him in CBR1 back in January 20th to be exact. But I left that gap there. And again, we got guys out the side. You see Dorian going for it. And so I kind of was going to try to stay on that wheel. But you see now I'm up front. There's a gap there. So I'm not planning on staying here long. So the U23 guy comes underneath me. I let him have that. I was not planning on chasing Dorian at all. We still have roughly about 13 minutes left in this race. I was not about to chase that down. I was not about to jump on that. I'll just let somebody else come up and do the work. And let me see if I can glance over to see how much, if we're to lap car jet, or if we're still on time. So we are currently still on time. So it says, I think up there, like about 14 minutes or something remaining. So we're still on time. And I think once we get down to about 10 minutes left, we'll go to 5 laps to go. So right now, what do? I actually go outside because we're coming up on the turn. And so I go outside or to my left to let some people come underneath me. And as you saw, we only had one guy come underneath. And right now, I believe these two guys right here with the Verge, with the Serial Legal bib shorts, they're on the same team. So that was perfect for me because they should be coming together to work together to bring back that breakaway or those guys up front. But we see right here, we caught Dorian Caifornia. So we almost caught him almost a lap later. I got Wes right here, and we see that the pace really slows down. So we're going 25 miles an hour. My heart rate's at 168. We got a few different Verge guys up here. We got Peter Verth, and Peter's sitting right there to see if anything goes off the front, because I already know that he's going to go after that. So we got some guys on the inside that are going up the road. Peter Verth is right there on the front. And I think he's monitoring it as I sit behind Wes. We're monitoring this because we come into this climb. So a lot of guys slow down during this time. I got Octavio behind me. And so the people are monitoring it. And again, people are out the saddle. There is Steve going underneath. There's Dakota going, on the outside. So we had Steve and Dakota going on the outside. And when I saw these two pop up, I said, oh, this is a good spot to be, because I know that these two are strong. I know that Steve is just like Peter Verth, very strong and long-winded riders. I talked to Steve one week, and the dude went and did like 80 miles before coming out and doing Dominguez Hills. He's like, yeah, I did like a century, or I did like 80 miles. And then he comes out and does like three races in one day, and I'm like, dude, you are a beast. If I did 80 miles, I'm not doing no racing the next day. That's why I do nothing the day prior, and I come out here and I race 2 or 3 races. So we all have our different specialties, and we're all strong in our own right. And I love that about cycling, because some days we're on and some days we're off. And as you all know, I was about 83% this day. There's Coy with SC VELO right there to my right, about 2 o'clock. You see him with the red helmet, the blue, white, and red kit, as well as with the Cervelo bike now that he's in front of me. And so we're making our way, just went through turn number 2, and we are headed to turn number 3. So I got Wes Morgan in front of me. I got some few hitters. I got Coy in front of me, and Coy has been doing some really strong efforts in some of the races that I've seen him racing. I've seen him up in the front pulling. I've seen him do a lot of work. I've seen him go for preems and different things like that. But this guy is a really strong rider. So we're seeing him in front of me as we come through turn number 3. I was like, I'm in a good spot again. So right now my heart rate's at 171, going 28 miles an hour into this 3% roller, pushing out over 400 watts right now, about 78, 77 revolutions per minute. There we go. We have Peter Verth right there in front of me. We got Coy, we got Wes. We got these people in front of me, so I'm hunkered in. We got Isaac going underneath. We got some more big orange people going underneath. And I'm in a good spot. I'm probably in top 25 right now, and I believe there was roughly 50 people in this race. There was 50 riders in this race. And so right now, I'm just trying to find a wheel that's going to be best for me as we're coming through the start finish. I got Steve on my left right there. So I felt good. I felt like I was protected from the wind a little bit. Again, we're going 25 miles an hour. My heart rate is at 171. And when my heart rate gets in the 160 area, preferably like 162, I'm really comfortable. I'm really relaxed. I'm really recovering, and all is well. So right now you see I'm at 165. All is well. We're getting there. Everything is good. Pushing out just over 80 watts. And you see my watts are dropping because I'm coasting. And as I mentioned to you all several times before, and I will continue to do it, my goal is to consistently pedal, keep those legs moving, keep them moving, keep them moving. But at the same time, I've also realized that every once in a while, to just coast a little bit, to relieve your legs of that stress of having to pedal and keeping them moving. That little bit of rest, actually, I feel like it rejuvenates them just a little bit. It's like a moment of relaxation. And so you let those legs, you coast, and then you get them spinning and get them moving again. We got Irvin out there on the outside with the orange, gray, black kit with the yellow socks. That's Irvin. And he tries a lot of times to go for breaks and different things like that. And I think in this race specifically, because at the end of the day, the end of this race, I believe our average speed was like 26 or 27 miles an hour. You see Octavio over there shaking his legs, because this 3% roller is no joke. So you see me go back to the inside, and I jump inside because that's the shortest line in this race. You see Gamma on my rear, watching him. He's watching me. And we're making our way through the start finish right now. So all is looking good, all is looking well, and we are at about 24 minutes in this race, on our way to finish this thing at 31 minutes. So please, we're almost to the end. So if you've made it this far, I ask that you would hunker in with me. I ask that you would get your coffee, get your tea, and get your pastry, and let's finish this thing out strong. I also would ask, if you're watching this video and you've made it this far, if you've made it 24 minutes and 30 seconds into this video, I ask that you would hit that red subscribe button, or better yet, if you will scroll or hover over the CritWit logo in the bottom right of this video, I ask that you would hit that thing and hit that red subscribe button that pops up. You may not know what that was or what it is. Some people may actually have put that in their video when they were editing, but from YouTube has allowed me, as well as a plethora of other people, the opportunity to get you to subscribe even while watching the video. So while you're watching this video right here, hover over the CritWit logo in the bottom right of the screen and subscribe to the CritWit Roadrunner family. So right now we're currently at 25 minutes. We're about 6 minutes away, which means we have about 3 laps to go. So right now I have Dakota in front of me. That's Mike Star right there with the black H&S kit. We got Dorian on the inside, 686. We got Isaac right there. We got Coy right there. I'm around a lot of strong riders. I'm around, so I'm happy with that. I'm not too far back. We got Brandon behind me, a big orange, and we see there's a few stragglers back there a little bit that are kind of off of Brandon's wheel, but I'm staying on the inside. I'm staying on Dakota's wheel because I know Dakota will hunker down and he will bolt up. He's talking to Isaac right now, number 686, and so just trying to stay right here, just trying to stay really close to these riders right here because they will get away from you. I pulled back a little bit because we was going through the start finish, and it actually kind of funnels a little bit to the finish line, and so I didn't want to be too far in a bad spot, so I backed up just a little bit. But as you see, I have reconnected with Dakota. So we got this guy coming underneath, which is totally fine, and he had enough room to make it through safely. But I see in my sights that gold jersey. There you go. You got Mike Star going underneath right there with those red socks and the H&S kit. We got Octavio up there with the white and green jersey on. We got guys coming underneath right there. We got Isaac coming in hot underneath on that turn number 2. And you got Brandon going up the road. So now it's like, okay, what do I do? So I go up around Isaac, I come up, I get by Mike Star. I'm holding the inside spot down. As we come down this hill, you see we're going 27, 26, 27 miles an hour. My heart rate's really, really good. I'm at 160 beats per minute, and now I'm cruising through this turn, and we come into the hill. So we're hitting this hill again. I got Dakota on the rear tire. I got Isaac back there. I got Wes in front of me. I got Peter Verth. I got Dustin. Again, around great people. I got Isaac coming up over the hill, out the saddle. I got Dorian on his wheel, and when I see this right here, I said, okay, it's time to attach to this. And I say that because Dorian usually finds Gamma, who is the race leader in the gold jersey. Dorian finds Gamma, Gamma finds Dorian, and they hook up, and they are almost inseparable. It's like they have this cycling umbilical cord that nobody can separate. As you see there, we got Dakota coming underneath, and look at this right now. You see Gamma, gold jersey, Dorian, full kit. What does Gamma do? Gamma gets on Dorian's wheel. And I'm like, okay, they're right in front of me. Perfect space, perfect spot, perfect time. So I jump on Gamma's wheel, and at this point, I think we got like 2 laps to go. I can't let this wheel go. I cannot let this wheel go at all. I got Mike coming underneath me. I let a little gap go because we're coming through the turn. To see stuff like that, because I'm a bigger guy, I have to be very, very, very aware of. See, Mike held it right there. This same guy right here with this Bianchi, he almost got into a wreck earlier in the race. So this guy we got to be careful with. And at this point right now, I'm behind Gamma again, and I got this guy to my right, and I'm like, oh Lord, I hope this guy can hold his line as we come into the fastest turn on this course. And he does he kind of comes out a little wide, as we see. Look how wide he comes going through that turn. So right now we got everybody out the saddle. You can look at me, I'm not out of my saddle because my camera's not wiggling and wobbling. When I come out the saddle, you will see that my camera will wiggle and wobble like it's hot. Wobble, wobble, shake it. No, I'm joking. Drop it. Ooh, take it. No, I'm just joking. But no, so right now we're coming through turn number 4, and we're going to the start finish again, and I am on the wheel that I want to be on because somehow, some way, Gamma consistently finds the front, wins the race, maintains the gold jersey. So right now I'm sitting in a good spot, and this is the final lap. The bell just rang. This is the final lap. And let's go, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you put your drinks aside, set everything down, put your snack down, put your pastry down. This is the last lap. Let's go. So right now I'm sitting on Gamma's wheel. We're coming through turn number 2. I'm sitting on Gamma's wheel and we are making our way to turn number 2 now. We just went through turn number 1. We're on our way to turn number 2. 649 of IRZ, which I think is Integrity Racers. He's sitting in good position as well. And we got Dorian up there. And so I know Gamma is watching Dorian. Dorian again is in front of Gamma and they have this cycling umbilical cord that nobody can ever separate. Somehow, some way, they do it every time. You got Steve of Lagrange up front with the blue and red kit, and you see they accelerate. So I lose that wheel momentarily, but I said if I go outside, I'm going to be in the middle of this. So what do? Is I just hold my line, and I come here, but the guy was kind of going slower. So I go on the inside. I come out the saddle a little bit. You see I push it over 1,430 watts to get on, jump on Gamma's wheel. And now you see the camera's moving a little bit crazy. Look at the rear camera. We got Isaac coming behind me. We got Dorian. We got Gamma. We're coming through turn number 4. Dorian cuts me off, you foul rascal. He slows me down. I had to hit the brakes really quick. We got IRZ come underneath. He's sprinting. I'm sprinting. Dorian sits up. I'm in 3rd place. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm in 3rd place. Oh my God. Oh my God. Your boy C-Dub get 3rd place, his first podium ever. I'm super excited about it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. On to the next one with your boy C-Dub, aka Crit Whit. Peace.